So today I'm catching up with Tom Coker. Tom's a team leader from the company Lowell, and I wanted to really get a perspective of a male team leader who has had experience of menopause. So thanks, Tom. Thank you for sharing some time with me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Don't look scared. It's not that.
Try
The,
that too. Try that too.
the reason I wanted to catch up with you, Tom, is because I know we've met during menopause training, and
Yep.
your perspective and experience had quite a profound impact on me. So I wanted to sort of share that with people who are interested in this topic. So I guess my first question to you is, what was your first experience or encounter of menopause, and what did you think about that at the time?
My first experience was probably when I first became a team leader, and that was about 6, 7 years ago. So quite young, managing people that are well above my age. And I was doing a return to work, and somebody in jest just said to me, "Oh, I think it's because I'm going through the change." And many true words are said in jest. So at that point, I didn't know how to take it, and I was taught back. I didn't know anything on the subject,
Mm.
and I kind of just like laughed it off and was like, "All right," and then just went on to something else for the reason why that person was off. But um, I just didn't know what to do. It's like a panic mode, and I just didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to address it,
Yeah.
and you could think a lot of things in hindsight, but well, from things that I know now. But that was probably my first memory. Um, of dealing with anything to do with menopause. Somebody just mentioning something in a return to work. Somebody who was much older than a woman who was much older than myself.
Yeah. And how did you cope with it at the time, or did you not really do much with it? Was it just left as a joke? And you,
Yeah, I didn't do anything with it. It was basically it was pure panic and a bit like I don't know what to do. I don't know anything about it. How do I address it? I don't know anybody who's really been in this situation. I've ever spoken to anybody about this certain thing ever before.
yeah.
So I just didn't know what to do at all.
And did you have any other follow-on experiences like that, or was it just something that was you were aware of?
Yeah, it was then it was always something that was then stuck in my mind where I was like, well, what do I do? And then I always just thought at the back of my head, like, would it be just like would it be weird to then ask somebody like what's to do about menopause? And like people think, well, what's this lad asking me about like menopause for? Why is he
Yeah,
wanting to know that?
yeah.
It was like kind of like wanting to know something, but not knowing how to then go about knowing anything about menopause where it can affect so many people.
And it's challenging, isn't it, when you're managing people that are quite a lot older than you, and maybe females who are older than you as well. It feels sensitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, so sensitive because you don't know the boundaries because you don't understand it. And if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't know something, then I can't understand the boundaries of someone, how they're feeling, what
Mm,
they're going through, and how to empathize and help. And that's what sort of took me back a little bit, and not knowing what to do as a young leader at the time. It was
yeah.
difficult.
So I know you did attend training. We had, I guess, menopause awareness sessions at your company. So
Yeah.
what were your biggest takeaways from doing that work together?
So biggest takeaway is understanding it, knowing it, and understanding that it's not just somebody who's of a certain age, that it can affect anybody. It's not just
Yeah.
about age. I think one of the stories that you told that really stood out to me is like somebody had to have an operation with a hysterectomy,
Mm,
and then this person ended up going through the menopause at a young age, and it really took me back thinking that wow, somebody even younger than me could have gone through the menopause,
mm,
and me to somebody not knowing about it and how that could affect somebody so young, and and you just presuming, and it's horrible thing. I hate saying the word presume now because you just tend to do it. You just assume and presume that somebody
yeah.
is going through certain things at a certain stage of life, but you don't know anything
Mm,
unless you understand it. And I think the main thing to take away is that understanding it, being able to notice certain things or something that someone might be going through and linking it back to the menopause that's well every woman goes through. So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think that was one of my main takings away is really that it can just affect anybody at any point, any time. You can't just go, right, you're this age now, you're definitely going to be going through it. I know there's a likelihood of
Yeah.
it's more likely to go through it at certain ages,
Yeah.
but yeah, it could affect anybody at any point.
And what difference did that have in terms of relationships in and outside of work? Getting that awareness.
So. from an in-work point of view, it helped me a lot. As I say, we like return to work then, and then especially somebody in my team who was going through it after the
Yeah,
training. I sort of like apologized to the person, be like, I'm sorry, like I didn't know what you were sort of going through at this time, and it was
yeah,
ignorant of me not to even just address it and go through at this point. And it 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 made me like sort of open up to other experiences, what other people are going through, and not just be so naive to the fact that it's nothing to do with men. It's like you're as much as part of it as what that person is. If I'm leading them and I want them to
yeah,
be know that I'm approachable, I need to understand what this person is going through. And if I don't understand it, then I can't help. But then
yeah,
that's why I thought from reflection, I should have addressed this a lot sooner and wish I had this sort of training before so I could help. I
yeah,
could help this person because then that could help the person within work as well.
yes,
Let them feel more comfortable coming to work, speaking about things at work,
yeah,
and then understanding that other people then could come to me and speak about it if they needed to.
yeah,
Um, that was one of the things that I took from an inside point of work. From outside of work, it was like with my mum. Like you don't understand like what someone's going through. Like even again, like I mentioned earlier, like say things in jest. Like I used to do that with my mum when she used to forget things all the time, and like you mentioned, like brain fog was like one of the things that somebody can go through when they're perimenopause. And again, I apologize to my mum because you don't understand. So it's like you get emotional speaking about
oh,
it
yeah,
but yeah, it's amazing that you can then have a different relationship, especially with a family member as well, that you take for granted some like most of the time. But then I think that my mum realised that he knows about this, he cares, he wants to know, he's understanding, and for
yeah.
her to then been able to open up and confide in me as well, uh, I appreciate it a lot. So it opened it up a lot more to me as well. So it was good. It was
I
good.
think I think I remember you talking to me not long after the program, and you said you'd spoken to your mum about it, and she said was she a bit taken aback
Yeah, yeah.
that with?
She was gobsmacked with like the half of the stuff that I knew. And she was like, "How do you know all this? Like, where's this even come
Yeah,
from?" It's like just been given like a book and just download all this information, just
yeah,
spouting it out to her. And she was like, well, "Why do you even know about this? Like, why are you going through it?"
yeah,
And she
yeah,
mentioned though, like even saying how good it was that as a company that we gave this out. This knowledge is training, something that we all didn't really expect to be having. But then like how good it was that then I could speak to her about it, and then she was just taken back by the sort of things that I knew that she was going by. And again, she
yeah,
wasn't going through every single scenario, everything that you like
yeah.
told us, but yeah, it helped a lot.
So I guess thinking about frontline leaders, why do you think it's important for all frontline leaders or all leaders to understand this stuff?
I think so. It's not such a taboo subject. Like people need to know that everyone is involved in it. Like as I say, even it's meant like pretty much every woman would be going through it, but every man should be experiencing that as well as they should be there to support somebody, in my opinion. If it's family, if it's not, if it's work colleagues, that people need to realize that you're there for them.
Mm,
And if you're a leader, you need to be there and be leading. And if someone needs to know that you're there and you care, you can empathize, you can understand what somebody's going through. I think it's very important that people are confident to speak to you about anything
yeah,
because this is a taboo subject. If they can speak to you about sort of this, then they can open up to you about anything. So it's that open, honest relationship that I think you can have with your colleagues, with your staff, with anybody in the works. You need to be seen to be there to be able to help. So I think it's very, very important.
and what support do you think leaders need to give colleagues?
I think the support is there is letting people know that you've been on this sort of training.
Yeah,
Know your understanding from it. Not necessarily just have like a meeting saying spouting about everything that you sort of know. Like you be engaging. Um, letting people know you're there to support, even just if it's the odd email, something that's going out, or I'm aware of this, that if anybody wants to talk, then you can do, or even just even like links to the different pages, and not even just doing it for like it's a one-off. All right, I've had the training. This is that's me done. Like I'll do it once, then
Yeah,
one email. It's about being consistent with it as well, about having a
yeah,
consistent message to people, because I think otherwise you're just going to see right through that you've just had training, you do one thing once and not actually taking it in or learn anything from it. So I think you need to support your colleagues and make people aware consistently that you
yeah.
are there to support them.
I guess some of that's about creating that culture of trust, isn't it? Where people do feel safe to talk to their leader about this if they want to. I'm always saying that in my training. Some colleagues, one might not go through many symptoms, so might be fine, but also they might not want to talk about it. So, what sort of things did you do to try and enable that culture of trust and safety?
So spoke about it a lot in my team meetings, and then I wanted to put one of my staff forward for the menopause champion as well.
Okay.
So then they could come to the meetings that you had, and then they could speak about it, but then they could speak about what I knew because I was one who put them forward. So it's all well and good me saying things in my team meetings won't always go so broad as to like the
Yeah.
rest of the business.
Oh,
Whereas if I
sure.
can spread my word to certain individuals, they can speak to other people within the business, and it's like you speak to one person, that person could speak to two, then they could speak to
Mhm.
one, let people know. So that sort of word spreads. Um, yeah, just so then people are aware of what you know or what you can go through, and you're not sort of shy about the subject. You've got to be there to understand it.
Yeah, and we're all humans, right? We all go through things that are difficult and maybe a bit personal and a bit sensitive, but how do we sort of break that down? I think it's that's one of the first things I'll do when people come into the room straight away. Let's get that stuff out the way because it's just human. It's human stuff we're all going to have to go through.
Mm.
So thinking about the business, any business, what do you think are the biggest business benefits of providing menopause awareness? Are there business benefits, do you think?
I do, yeah, a lot because it's the culture that you want to sort of to have in your business. You want to make sure that everyone feels welcome and understood. I keep saying that word of understood is because
Mhm.
people, I say it's a taboo subject what people don't want to speak about. People can be embarrassed by it, but I think people need to realize that it happens to like every woman. Like it's
Yeah,
there, it happens. You've got people in your workforce. You shouldn't be there just thinking that it's some 20-year-old could have gone through it. But then, what does that 20-year-old know where to turn to? Was anybody spoke to that person before? But as a business, they could, oh, do you know what? Actually, at my work, they spoke about and they're quite open about the menopause. I know where I can go to, and
yeah.
they could then the benefits there. They could speak to their friends or speak to their parents, speak to their family. They know that right, Overdales. They know what they're talking about. Lowell. They know what they're talking about. Menopause. They have taught us what menopause is about, and that's just not even for a woman. That's from a male point of view. Like I
Mm,
sing about this to the cows come home to the people that I know, and I speak to people and say, "Well, yeah, my way, I know about menopause." Like, well, how do you know about it? Well, my work put me on a course, and we taught about it. We did the menopause awareness, and we did the training, and a lot of people are like, "Wow, that's like the shocked by it." But then my knowledge for what I've gained is like, wow, that's great. So it benefits us as I think, oh well, actually Lowell, Overdales, they know what a company, what people are about. It's like understanding the people who work for you because you want people to work for you as a business. So I think the benefits are there to show that people want to work for someone if that business understands you, you will want to work for that place.
yeah, and I guess it's, we talk about a lot about diversity and inclusion, don't we? But it's almost like the belonging piece, isn't it? Actually, I've still got a voice. I'm valued. I'm listened to. I've got a contribution to make. All of that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, people aren't just numbers, and that's what I
Uh,
think one of the main things from it is that understand that you're not a number.
yeah, yeah.
We're here to understand, and these sort of things help you understand every situation that you're going through.
So I guess if you had one top tip, and that might be quite tough. I might give you two, Tom, but one or two tips for people leaders. What would it be? Beyond, obviously, you've said about talking about it a lot. Is there any other tips you'd share?
What so if I'm going if they obviously gone through your training, the awareness
Or
or
maybe not, maybe. But like, I guess if you were trying to get a leader to feel um, confident talking about this with their
Oh,
peers?
go through it, like go through this awareness, because I think at first when we got give sent this invite for the awareness, I'll be honest, I was like, why the hell am I coming? Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to contribute to this? Like, I've not got a Scooby. What's going on? Like, what? And I came to it like, well, it was ignorant, really. It was ignorant of me. And so I'd go on this course, learn about it, understand it, and you'll appreciate it so much. Like, you'll learn so much from it. So that's now my biggest advice I could give to anybody is go through this course.
Um, did you find any benefits beyond menopause from going on this sort of training? Did it sort of have any other benefits that you could apply to other sensitive situations?
Yeah, I think it's more about like don't shy away from something that you don't know about.
Yeah,
Because if you don't like, if you shy away from something that a lot of like blokes will do, males will do, they'll shy away from a subject that they know nothing about, and like the sensitive situations, like it could be this, it could be periods, it could be the pregnancies, it could be anything that we haven't got the absolute clue about. We shy away from it. So it helped me to think. Do you know what? If somebody mentions something to me as a leader, doing a return to work or trying to understand it, don't just go, well, I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to get someone else to come in. Actually speak to somebody,
yeah,
understand the situation, and yeah, speak to them and know what they're going through. Don't think because it's something that you have not a clue about that if that you don't have a clue about it, it won't affect. They won't be able to see that you don't have a clue, and it then shows that you don't care. So I
yeah.
think if anything that's sort of that you're shy about is that you need to just get involved and understand that's what that person's going through. So yeah,
That's
open
brilliant. Thanks, Tom. I wish all people leaders were like you, is all that, because I think you're absolutely right. If we can try and empathise, it's really hard to empathise with something we've not been through ourselves, isn't it? But if you are open to learning about it, it does make a huge difference. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've got anything else to add before we close out our little chat today.
Um, no, it was a great call. I'm surprised that it's not a protected characteristic. If I'm honest, that's one thing that I will say that I'm so surprised that after learning about it, is that like when I think about pregnancy, like not every woman gets pregnant, but most women will go through the menopause, if not everyone.
Yeah,
It baffles me that it's not, but hey ho, that's what I
not
can do if
yet.
it not yet. Well, yeah, that's the thing. If it gets campaigned for, I won't be surprised if it comes in. So, but yeah, I'd take a lot away from this course. I'd 100% go on it. Um, I'd recommend it to anybody, and I'd say, yeah, just whatever you're shy about, understand it. Don't be shy about it.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. Nice to see you. Keep on with the good work, and I'll hopefully see you again soon.
No
Thanks.
worries. Thank you, Mel.